Hi, Gerald here. 3 reasons why I think Bitcoin is a really bad investment. And this is coming from a guy who everything I own financially is basically in Bitcoin. But why I think Bitcoin is a bad investment now when I used to think it was a great investment? One is I've learned a few things, but there's 3 reasons. Satoshi Nakamura. He's reason 1. That's a funny name for a Russian guy, don't you think? There's at least 3 Russians that claim to be Satoshi Nakamura. There's a handful of Americans. Anyway, nobody really knows who Satoshi Nakamura is. But what they do know is that he stands to become the richest man on Earth. Richer than Elon Musk and Bezos put together. And the Sultan of Brunei thrown in for good measure. Yeah, this guy. And the reason why he stands to become the richest guy on the earth is because 1/3 of his holdings, well, 1/3 of Bitcoin is at least in his hands. He has control of that. So that gives one man the control of a massive financial market that's the size of a mid-developed country. And he can play with it like a yo-yo. So just imagine if he cashed out one day. You know? So that control of the market really makes you worry about investing in it. Number 2 reason is what Elon Musk cited, that it's environmental drain on the planet is true, but that's not why it will fail. People don't care. I mean, people still invest in oil companies long after oil's gone. Oil's history now. I mean, it's you know, it's not coming back. And but people still drop money on it. Geez, I lost my train of thought there. Why it will fail is because these mining machines, these Bitcoin mining machines, which are computers that break down the cryptography of every transaction, and you have to pay for that transaction. So if you want it instantly, you're going to have to pay like $30 or $40. So that's why I will never replace credit cards. That, and because you don't want to buy something today and have it as a merchant, you don't want to get something like you don't want to get $100 today and it'll only be worth $50 tomorrow. It fluctuates too much, and plus, you as a consumer, you wouldn't want to pay a $40 transactional fee. What happens is Bitcoin is rarer and rarer, and so these mining machines have to work harder and harder to get the money. So it requires more and more energy. And Satoshi Nakamura, one thing he didn't calculate was that I assume that he probably thought the cost of energy would decline as productivity went up. But the cost of energy is going to go up. And these mining machines aren't going to be worth running. I mean, nobody's going to run them just so that Bitcoin can function at a cost. And government isn't going to take over Bitcoin. The governments hate Bitcoin. So that's why it's going to fail. The cost of mining is going to exceed the returns. You know, it's not going to lose all its value. I mean, I think historically this will be in the peak, 83,000 Canadian dollars for one Bitcoin. Now I don't even know what it is. But I think it'll hit a floor for about 5 years, around 20,000, maybe even 10. But it'll hit a floor before it disappears. And this third and final reason is governments don't like this. Governments really hate this. And so do privately owned central banks. They don't want to lose control of their monetary policy. So they're going to make it harder and harder for you to exchange Bitcoin anonymously. And when government hates something like that, they'll go at it in different ways. Like they'll go on about the environmental impacts about it and use that as justification. Even though clearly they don't care about environmental impacts, or they wouldn't be issuing forestry licenses for old growth timber on Vancouver Island here, as an example. But that's what they'll use as justification, because they don't want Bitcoin replacing national currency as a means of exchange, which isn't going to happen anyway because of the high transactional cost and the fluctuations, the historical fluctuations. So if you want to invest $10,000 and get $2,500 later, now is a good time to invest Bitcoin. But if you want to make money, I think keep your money in something else, like ETFs. What they are is kind of like mutual funds, but without the mutual fund payment fees. And you can invest in solar energy, alternate energy supplies, because you know, it's a no-brainer. They're going to boom. And what these ETFs do is they collect, like, say, a basket of similar industry stocks in similar industry, like 10, 20 of them, and then they administer them that way. So that's my 2 cents from a homeless guy in a yacht. Take care. See you next time.